Hi, people. This is DJ.
This is Ish.
And this is
Season
season 3
3
of Pero Let Me Tell You. Wait, is it Tuesday?
It is.
Are we pedoing on Tuesday?
We are.
Is that a verb?
It is now.
We're pedoing on
If people can Google, we can pedo.
So is pedo Tuesday going to be a thing now?
On occasion, if we've got something really special to talk about.
Because, everybody gives Tuesday a lot of crap for just being boring, but now it's not because it's like, pero let me tell you on Tuesdays.
It's us and tacos.
And Taco Tuesday, pero let me tell you.
I mean,
right here, right now.
We're spoiling you.
We just thought, pero let me tell you, plus tacos.
Plus tacos.
Life is good. So, welcome to a special edition of Pero Let Me Tell You.
El bono episode.
The bonus episode.
I love it.
This would be like the bonus content in a DVD.
Oh. Or
a Blu-ray.
Or the B-side on a single.
B-side. Every time somebody says B-side, I want to go, B-side. This is a song about summertime. Cool. No?
No, I've heard where this is going.
The feeling goes on and on.
Wait, that was a B-side?
That was a B-side. That was a B-side to, I believe, this is Janet Jackson we're talking about. Yeah. I believe to Because of Love.
But that was one of those B-sides that got played on the radio.
It got
okay, I got
airplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why
that song actually got significant airplay on Power 96
yes,
back in the day.
It did.
So anyway,
speaking of Power 96 and all things local,
yes,
the reason we're having this bonus episode is because, as y'all know, because we've been chatting about it, doing giveaways, we are going to be at Carnaval on the Mile on March 7th and 8th. We're going to have our own little booth there, ahí en Ponce.
So come and say hello. We're literally going to be in the middle of it. Ponce and Miracle Mile.
Is anybody really surprised that we're going to be metido en medio de todo?
And we have we're going to have our Lechon Life and our Sereno shirt, but we're going to have also a new shirt, which I think people are going to like. It's very Miami, literally.
Literally, yeah.
So hopefully you guys will check it out,
and we'll have people passing through, some interviews.
So please come and say hello. It's funny because a lot of times,
trae abuela, we'll take pictures.
When people that listen to us, finally meet us in person, they're like, "Oh my god, like you exist!" Like the voice I put the
like we're not disembodied voices.
Yeah, and it's funny because we post a lot of pictures of ourselves on Instagram, but I guess there's something with seeing someone
in the flesh,
even if it's a Z rate. My life on the Z list.
My life on the Z list, yes.
I don't know. I don't think we're even on the alphabet.
Oh God, no. They'd have to come up with new letters just for us.
So as we said, this is like a special edition, Carnival edition.
Yeah, Carnaval
of Pero Let Me Tell You. And the Kiwanis of Miami have been
Little Havana
have been very, very good to us, and gave us this platform, and
absolutely,
we're very appreciative. And we wanted to highlight. Not only obviously the festivals that they do, but we wanted to highlight a little bit of the talent that goes into putting this whole festival together. So we're gonna have a couple of interviews.
Yeah, we're gonna have an interview with the artist of the poster. Every year, Carnaval Miami has a poster, and in the past, you've had some artists such as Alejandro Mijares. I think Tony Mendoza has done one, and so this year it's Victor Garcia. So we have a chat with him, super, super buena gente. And then we also have a chat with one of the performers from Carnaval Miami. This is actually the first year that they're going to have country music acts. So actually, this is going to be our first country music artist ever on the show, Tim Sharon. And, both of these guys they're great interviews. I mean, and they're both going to be at Carnaval in obviously different respects, because I don't think Victor sings and I don't think Tim paints. But they're going to be there. So you guys should definitely come out, see us, see them, see other people. There's going to be all these artists, delicious food. I mean, honestly, it's Miami, so there's going to be comelada left and right. But, so we want to bring some of that flavor to you and whet your appetite a little bit to convince you to come out and hang out with us.
So because we're all about listen, laugh, and learn, I want to give people a little bit of a background.
Yeah, because people know about there's this Calle Ocho, there's Carnaval on the Mile,
so
but what is it?
Calle Ocho is put on by the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana.
Yeah.
Did you know that the original Kiwanis Club was founded in Detroit, Michigan?
Well, the Kiwanis is nationwide. Yeah.
Yeah, it is nationwide.
Yeah.
But
It
it's funny 'cause
sounds Hispanic.
it does, right? Lokiwani.
Lokiwani.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I always grew up hearing Lokiwani.
But I mean, obviously, they stemmed off to like different organizations and
Right.
subgroups. But like the original one was founded in Detroit, Michigan. I feel that everything is from Michigan.
Lokiwani, Madonna.
You know, Diana Ross, Motown. You know, Ford, Chrysler,
Yeah.
GM,
Eminem.
Little Caesar's Pizza.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
So, wow. And this wasn't even us really trying.
Darth Vader.
This is Darth Vader.
Yeah. Hey, James Earl Jones.
Oh, I was like, wait, Detroit's in a galaxy far, far away?
Yeah. No,
I
it's
visited.
Michigan. You visited
I
Detroit.
visited Detroit.
Yeah, you didn't need to go on the Millennium Falcon.
No, I did not.
You went on
No.
American Airlines.
I would.
But anyway,
Very different.
so yeah, the Kiwanis were started in Detroit, but the Kiwanis of Little Havana. So really, the whole point of, I guess, the Kiwanis
Carnaval.
is that it's a service club, but it's also part of its mission is to promote and give way to like cultural events and cultural
promote
matters
culture.
within the city. So as such, that is where the thought in terms of Kiwanis of Little Havana, that is where the original concept of Calle Ocho came out, because Carnival on the Mile, which is on the 7th and 8th of March
In
Coral Gables, starts off, well, it is one of the marquee events of Carnival Week, but it ends with Calle Ocho, and Calle Ocho is
That
like their
Sunday
main
event.
marquee event. So it's interesting because
It's so funny, not to interrupt you, but on the show Jane the Virgin, that show took place here in Miami. It wasn't filmed in Miami, Panan La Vida, but it took
like
place
Dexter.
here. But it's funny because in every season, the favorite thing that her and her family would love to go to was Calle Ocho.
Oh my God, really?
Like they would say it. They're like, every year, Jane.
You know, I've never watched that show.
It's such a good show. I haven't seen the last season, but it's such a good show.
And I don't know why, because I think she's really cute. Gina Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
I just like her. She seems
The
very
show's fantastic. The abuela is wonderful.
positive.
Like,
But anyway, so they started Calle Ocho in 1978.
yeah, when you were born.
Originally, Calle Ocho was supposed to, originally it was for like a Cuban American like meeting,
Claro.
For Cuban Americans to get together and have like this big block party, and it then obviously, as the face of Miami started changing and people from all different types of the world came together, Calle Ocho kind of morphed into more of a celebrating all Latin American countries and Latin American culture in general. And it is the largest street fair in the world.
In the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they actually, I did a little bit of research, and here's some really interesting things about La Calle Ocho, which I thought this was kind of cool. They had the world's longest conga line,
Yes.
which I actually knew this.
I remember this.
In 1988. But I guess I didn't know how many people were in the conga line.
Okay, so how many people?
How many people would you guess?
Well, I know of two for sure.
Okay.
Gloria and Emilio.
Gloria and Emilio, yes. There were 119,986 people in the conga line.
120,000 gente.
Yeah,
Haciendo la conga.
I knew that the
En la
world's
Ocho.
longest conga line was in Calle Ocho,
I just
but
know
I
the
didn't
amount of
realize
people.
it was 120,000 people. Like, that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of comparsa.
In 1990, they had a record-breaking 10,000-pound piñata.
They've done a couple of record-breaking things at the event, haven't they?
Yeah, I thought that was...
Wait, a 10,000-pound piñata?
Yeah. They also, in
That's a
2012,
lot of
they broke the
Smarties.
world record for the largest flag image ever created. The flag, and I remember this, measured 250 feet long by 36 wide. So I just thought that was like really interesting. I don't know. I'm still not over the 120,000.
Bueno, pero oye, espérate, ponte a pensar. We went to Calle Ocho last year. There was easily 120,000 people on that street. So if all they had to do was hold each other's hips.
I think I said this earlier. It's funny because, we're from Miami. It's a big city. So we're not we're not surprised by big
We're not
crowds,
rural.
But when we went to Calle Ocho last year and we hadn't gone in a while, I was like, no.
There's just so many
I'm like,
people.
they bust people in. Because,
Yeah, there had to be people coming in from Broward. It's a lot of people.
Because I was overwhelmed with the amount of people there.
Yeah.
But everybody was having a good time.
Everybody's having a great time. And you know what? Actually, this year they have a whole VIP thing too. Or if you don't want to be there with the molote of gente, you can pay.
El molote de gente. El molote de gente. That's such a great term.
It isn't it?
The molote of people.
The molote of people.
And then obviously, I think like 10 years ago, they started Carnival on the Mile.
Yeah,
which is
it's
a
the
little bit.
newer.
It's a little bit of a different demographic, a different feel. Carnival on the Miles, I feel it's a little bit more laid back.
Yeah, it's a
maybe
little more focused on art.
Yeah, maybe just because
think,
of the logistics of it.
Well, I mean, I love Coral Gables. I live in Coral Gables, but Coral Gables is also a very restrictive city.
Right. No, but
So
what I'm saying is that
I'm sure that there's certain parameters.
what I'm saying is that because Miracle Mile is wider,
true.
It just seems a little bit more and it's more like it feels more spread out. También also Calle Ocho has, hundreds of thousands of people going, so
it's never gonna feel spacious.
Right?
Yeah.
So the it's not as wide. So I just thought that was really interesting. You know what in a sad note, what was also kind of like, wow, I hadn't thought about it, was that the only year that Calle Ocho was canceled was in 1996. 96 because of the downing of the Brothers to the Rescue, the Hermano Rescate plane.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So
that was and for those listeners who don't know, so Brothers to the Rescue is an organization. I'm assuming they don't exist anymore, do they?
Not really.
During I guess I don't want to call it
the height
of Los Malos Tiempo, in Cuba, where people were really just trying to
the mid-90s.
The
The Castro regime allowed.
That wasn't a periodo especial though.
No, periodo especial was after the fall of the Soviet Union.
Okay, so it was like the 80s.
No, it was like the early to mid-90s.
Oh.
Periodo especial was after the fall of the Soviet Union.
So then, bueno, esto estaba más o
they
menos
didn't
dándole la
have
mano.
Soviet Union support.
No, right. So bueno, if this is 96, esto estaba dándole la mano al periodo especial.
It was as you could make an argument that in part it was a result of that Castro kind of turned a cheek and kind of let people leave in rafts. And,
right.
That's a whole Balcero period.
Yeah, exactly.
know,
so this organization would basically go out there and try to help, the people who were on the rafts and just, they were a helpful organization.
It's so funny because like living in Miami and going through all these like different periods in terms of immigration, when we were kids, era, los Marielita. Tú eres Marielita. Tú eres Marielita. And then in the 90s, it was like, los Balceros Guantánamo. Tú eres de Guantánamo.
Oh, right.
No, yo vine por Guantánamo. And that shows like what group or what.
That's your time frame.
Yeah, that's your time frame.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting how that, evolves. So yeah, that was I thought it was some interesting facts because, again, it's like one of these things that you go to Calle Ocho or you go to one of these festivals and it's great and fun, but it actually started with a purpose.
Yeah, no, and actually so every year they do have a king or queen or kings or queens depending because it's sometimes it's a solo act, sometimes it's a group. Like this year, Los Reyes son Mau y Ricky, a reggaeton pop duo.
I know what your favorite queen has been.
Damn right, you know who my favorite queen was.
1997, Thalia.
Damn right.
And we went to that concert.
So I was gonna say that. I'm like, but that was not Calle Ocho, but there was no Carnaval on the Mile. Do they still do that concert?
That's a great question. I remember they always used to do that concert.
Right, but I feel like now they've bundled it together. That concert just happens at Calle Ocho.
They used to have I remember the one we went to was not in Bayfront Park, but I remember
it was at the Orange Bowl.
It was at the Orange Bowl, but I remember they had some in Bayfront Park. Like I remember one year Selena was in it. The year Selena died. Remember Selena died at the end of March.
That's true. Yeah, so it was like right after.
It was like a month earlier that I remember we were watching her in the concert, the Carnaval, around this time, and she looked really pretty. It's the video of her hair when she had it all tied back that she was wearing kind of like a see-through tight shirt with the bra under and like a little mini skirt. Yeah. And she was singing BDB. I remember it was Bidi Bidi Bam Bam. And we were like, I specifically remember that we were watching it and we were like, que bonita ella, like, que gracia tiene.
Right.
And then, a month later, it's like, damn it.
Damn it, Yolanda.
Damn it. But anyway, see, we got into Selena again.
Oh. Damn it. But so yeah, I'm just wondering, I think they've just
probably some years
things change.
Or, things change. But yeah, I'll never forget that the concert we went to, the one with Thalia.
Oh my God, and that was a great concert.
It was Los Ilegales,
Azúcar Moreno,
and Enrique Iglesias. That concert was lit AF.
Oye, that concert for 1990 was it 97?
It was 97. No, it was 96. And no, it was 97. It was 97.
Because 96 it was
Yeah.
canceled. Right?
And you know who else was there? The ones that used to sing
The ones
Sopa de
that-
Caracol. No, it wasn't Sopa de Caracol.
Was it them?
Was it Sopa de Caracol? I know it was some. There was another. There's another. group
No,
that was very.
it was una sopa de pollo.
Yes,
todo
the Sopa de
puede
Pollo
dar.
people.
Oh my God, where are they? Los. Oh, it's gonna kill me. It's
Yeah.
gonna kill me with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that the show was hosted by Minka de Llano
That's right.
and Maria Celeste.
Yes.
Yeah, me and my memory.
Oh yeah, that was a great. Can we go relive that concert?
Yeah, that concert was pretty badass.
Like shit, I want to go relive that concert
I remember
right now.
jamming because that's one of my favorite songs, "Tu la Morena" by Los
my
Ilegales.
God.
That is my jam. That is like that. Mira, that song, the Quad City DJs, the train, and at night I think of you.
Oh,
And my boo by the Ghost Town DJs. Those are my those are my jams. Those three songs. I mean, La Morena's a great song.
It's a great song.
Que viva la República Dominicana.
Damn right. Damn right.
And now I remember that night was the first night I ever heard by Enrique Iglesias. And that song, Miente, dime que me amas. And then, of course, it was Thalia.
Thalia, God bless Thalia.
Do you remember when they crowned her?
She looked like she had, you would have thought that she had just won an election to be the queen
like the world.
of the world because she was so happy and she did that yes thing with the arm that she was doing in all of like the 90s in all her videos for no reason.
But I remember that she was doing her performance to Pia Morena.
She had like 5 costume changes and she sang like 3 songs.
When it ended, like when the song was like ending, it was like an extended version or whatever.
Right.
She kind of went up like a flight of stairs, and as she descended from the stairs, they had put on this huge cape on her with the crown.
They crowned her.
And they're like, "Y ahora la reina del carnaval, Thalia," and on her Thalia glory.
And that was prime Thalia. Like that was like
flowers
pinnacle.
in the microphone.
That was
Thalia.
No, that was
right
right
after.
after. That was right after.
No, this
that
was Faucets for a
Gracias.
Bra. Thalia.
That was in ecstasy, Thalia.
Thalia, yeah. That was,
She came out with a skirt that was made of CDs.
Anyway, this is not about us.
No, but you know what? It's those kind of memories. Like, think about it. Like, look how many memories we have with Carnaval Miami.
Yeah, as a result of
Carnaval Miami. Like, all these
and
awesome, fun
about
memories that we have.
We were like 16. Like, whose idea was it to go to this? It was yours.
I'm going to say it was mine.
And we all went. Like,
I'm
all
gonna say
of
it was
us
mine
went.
because we love. Remember, we all love Thalia. I mean, who doesn't love Thalia aside from
And
Paulina
Los
Rubio?
Ilegales.
We love Los Ilegales. We love Azúcar Moreno too.
Oh, of course, they sang.
That was that because
They
we
sang
were
that
all
song.
watching The Box.
They sang that song. 1,
2, 3,
caramba. Na, 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 na.
Solo se vive una vez.
una
And
vez.
Devórame otra vez.
Yep.
Again, these were all staples on The Box.
On The Box.
And that's why we went.
Televisión musical que tú controlas. Long
Lord.
live The Box.
Long live The Box.
So,
Gone but not forgotten.
this is our... We actually, you know what? We need to have a future episode where we talk about The
Box.
Because I need to tell people how I ended up loving the song in Moñoñón. But that's another story. How I ended up liking that song. Do you remember when Tony Braxton's Unbreak My Heart was on for like the entire day?
This Saturday, I think it was a long weekend.
Okay. You're going to name them because I know you are. What are the top 3 songs of The Box that were always on the entire day?
Box?
That were always on the entire day.
Unbreak My Heart.
Unbreak My Heart.
Maria. By Ricky Martin.
Uh-huh.
The third one, I want to say it's My Heart Will Go On.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
I knew you would know.
Okay.
Because I remember I
They
would
were
go to
always
school.
on.
I would go to school and it was like Tony Braxton. And I love Tony Braxton.
Yes, to this day.
I would come home from school and it was still Tony Braxton. I'm like, okay, why do people keep requesting the video if it's always on? Like, who's missing the video? And then Maria was the remix of Maria.
Yes, it was the Spanglish remix, right? No,
No, it was like the dance
remix. The dance,
right? That was on for about 36 hours a day.
Yeah,
like,
it might still be playing. We don't know.
It's somewhere. It's still
somewhere.
playing.
There's a signal going off to other planets of Ricky Martin's Maria on The Box.
Yeah, and then there was Unbreak My Heart. That
And
was
then
like,
My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah, I'm sorry, My Heart Will Go On. That was on for about 10 years.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's still on.
Yeah,
It's still on.
So anyway, bueno. We hope you're enjoying our carnival-themed episode as we
Yes.
reminisce about our carnival-related memories.
Yes.
So now let's actually jump into the interview.
Yeah.
With Vic Garcia.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with Vic, and then after that, we're gonna go straight into our interview with Tim Sharon. But we got a little word from our sponsor. Caballero, it's time for Carnaval Miami. The party starts with Carnaval on the Mile, March 7th and 8th, when the heart of Coral Gables becomes a free street fair with food, art, and live music from R&B, Latin jazz, and for the first time, country music. Not to mention Fork and Cork, where you can sample some of the best foods in Miami for just $75 per session. Then Sunday, March 15th, it's Carnaval's crown jewel, the Calle Ocho Music Festival, full of food, music, and drinks with performances including this year's Kings of Carnaval, Mau y Ricky. And if you love the festival, pero, you want to skip the molote de gente, there's a VIP passport option for purchase with access to lounges and backstage parties throughout the party route. So for more information, visit carnavalmiami.com, and don't forget, your boys from Pero Let Me Tell You are going to be at Carnaval on the Mile, so stop by and see us. It's time to pachanga, mi gente. And we're back, caballero. So as we mentioned, we are here with the artist of this year's Carnaval Miami poster, Vic Garcia. And we're actually, I gotta say, Darian, in probably one of the coolest damn houses I've ever been in. Studio/workspace. It's like if Andy Warhol was Cuban, this is where he'd live. This is exactly what it would look like. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, so we're here.
I'll take it. Thank you guys.
Thank you for joining us,
Welcome
man.
to Pero Let Me Tell You.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh man, so I guess I'm just sitting. We're literally sitting here, listeners, and looking at all his art. And if you haven't yet seen it, I mean, you got to check it out on Instagram. It's so vibrant, and it's just. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I don't know if it's got like a Keith Haring vibe to it.
Keith Haring kind of meets Brito, but his own unique perspective as well. Because it's very colorful. But what are we saying? He's the artist.
Yeah,
so tell us, Vic, your artwork. Well, actually, tell us a little bit first how you got into art. When did you discover this amazing talent that you have?
All right. So thank you guys, first of all, for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So I actually I went to a school for business marketing with no intention. Yeah. So with no intention of being an artist.
You thought about being a business.
Yeah. So I guess, we got to market everything. So it actually worked.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it worked out. I've been able to market myself through, I guess, the knowledge I gained through college in my head. Mm-hmm. So it was good. And then I needed a few things for the walls, and I just picked up a piece of paper from the printing paper, got some markers at CVS, and just one paper led to another paper. I started taping them up. It just took over all the walls, and then still didn't think anything.
Wait, but how old were you?
This was probably in my 20s for sure. Yeah.
So you came across this talent that you have in your 20s.
I would say, yeah.
Wow.
I definitely was like a performer growing up as a kid. I went to, I think, a couple acting classes, but definitely the drawing was something.
So it was something artsy inside of you.
Yeah, there was something artsy, but definitely I discovered it later on in my life for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you picked up some markers, and then what happened?
I saw that there was something unique within it. I duct taped a few together. They became bigger. My whole apartment got taken over. I still didn't think people liked it, but it was just a thing that I did on my spare time. Graduated, started working with my dad. People started requesting them. I got the right paper, right markers, and then I did a painting for a baseball player, and then I just hung it in his house. And then I'm like, wait, I could put my paintings in people's house. This could be like my business and what I could do every day. And it just now we're here talking to you guys about this. Yeah,
there was that business marketing degree,
but that's actually quite incredible because I feel that usually people that are creatives are artists
to this degree.
Yeah, to this degree. Because, again, and we're gonna post your art on our page.
Appreciate
but
it.
I mean, obviously this comes from a place that this is a talent
Esto
that
nace.
you were born with, and it's just interesting to hear that you discovered this. I don't want to say so late in life in your 20s, but
No, but
generally,
definitely not.
Generally, it's something people, when they're little children,
Of course,
discover that
I mean,
they can.
if you don't mind, how old are you now? If you don't mind my asking.
I'm about to be 30.
Okay, so 10 years, give or take.
I would say I've been doing it less than 10 years for sure.
That's
incredible.
As of my full time, 24/7. This is what I do for sure.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
amazing.
That he had this talent that he hadn't tapped
Actually,
into.
in my bio, I actually put that a teacher when I was smaller actually told me to stop doing stick figures. So in honor of that teacher, you can find some stick figures.
Some?
Definitely.
A few.
Yeah,
there.
a few within the paintings around you. So
Oh my God, that's crazy to
Yeah.
me.
That is actually a remarkable story, I have to say, because that's not usually how these things work out.
No, you always hear it's like, since I was 3 years old, I picked up a crayon and I never stopped.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Right.
that type of story. But that's so. I mean, you created that piece for that baseball player, hung it in his house, and then I guess the business degree inside of you said, "Aha, this can turn into something."
yeah. I asked my father if I could explore this newly found talent, and ever since that day I haven't stopped. And like I tell everyone, I'm constantly thinking of the next project and the next thing I could create, and I can't sleep because I just want to do the next thing, and it's a 24/7 thing, and I'm doing what I love, which not everyone gets to do it as well.
That's damn right. That's
Yeah.
damn right. So, I mean, who would you say are some of your inspirations? I mean, again, we can guess looking around here.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm definitely inspired by other artists, but I think the world in general inspires me. You can find inspiration within anything within this world, and the children definitely inspire me, and some greats like Walt Disney definitely is a big inspiration on what he was able to create with the world, and everyone's fascinated and in love with the characters. And then other artists, Keith Haring is definitely someone that inspires me. Cause is another one. Takashi Murakami is another one.
Would you consider your stuff street art? Because that's such an in term nowadays.
Yeah, no, I definitely. People like to use the word street art, and I wouldn't say. Yes, it's definitely, you could see it on the street and in murals and walls, but I wouldn't consider myself a street artist, because a lot of these street artists, they started on the street and then they evolved into canvas. So I would say I'm just an artist for everyone.
Okay. No, I like.
Yeah,
whoever. But you're right, because I could see this stuff being in a mural in the street.
Yeah,
But at the same time,
it could
it's
also
hanging on
be
a
in
canvas.
someone's home. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. But I love that answer because it speaks to something that I think comes through in your art. And we were talking a little while ago with your character, who I love, Flower Nose, so cute.
Thank you.
But your answer to me, it speaks to an authenticity that I think you have, because I think other people might have been like, oh yeah, it's street art, to try and get that cred.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think you're just very aware. You're like you said, you're like, well, no, I didn't start in the street. You almost don't feel comfortable.
No, I don't. And I even
being lumped in that.
Even when I paint murals till this day, I'm still yes, I'm confident in all I do, but I still kind of look at it in a different way, because I didn't start doing in the graffiti scene, which a lot of these artists started in, with these special letters and the bubble letters. And look, I've been accepted to paint some murals, and they've given me walls and opportunities, but I still wouldn't say that I began on the street.
Yeah, you know who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now that I mentioned Flower Nose,
Yeah.
Now for the Carnaval Miami, the piece that you created is called Flower Nose and Friends.
Flower Nose and Friends take Carnival Miami.
I was there at the press conference when it was unveiled.
Yes, sir.
And I got to say, as a lifelong Miamian, I've enjoyed my fair share of Carnaval posters. They're all nice. They're all lovely. Some better than others. When they unveiled yours, there was just something that I reacted to on just a pure level of joy.
It was endearing.
It's
warm.
It was
Wow,
inviting.
You guys are gonna make me cry. I
was-
got
no.
chills. Come on. No. I get it. I appreciate it.
It was inviting. It felt like we God, this is gonna sound corny as hell. It felt like I knew that painting.
Because I think that Miami being such a big city and, you know, so many people think different things of Miami. You know, some people think of it as like, you know, where you go party and clubs and the beach. That could have been anything. But instead you turned it into something, again, very heartwarming, very like endearing, as I said. And it's interesting that that's the angle as the artist that you took. So tell us a little bit, you know, what was your inspiration? Why did you go down that route for the poster?
So yeah, thank you guys for the kind words. I'm definitely moved, but I think so. The main focal point, obviously, when you guys saw it of the canvas, was my character Flower Nose, which at the end he's the globe with a nose that's a flower. So just starting there, it definitely brings the world brings unity and people of all races and colors and backgrounds together. So I was definitely trying to bring everyone within one painting together for this special moment, which is Carnaval Miami and the celebration of life, unity. And then I surrounded it with other studio friends of mine as well. I definitely made it colorful. I added a bunch of flags from different countries because at the end, yes, we're all here Cuban, but there's people from all over the world that visit Carnaval Miami and all the festivals, which is at the end, which is Miami, because Miami...
We really are a melting pot.
Yeah, we're definitely a melting pot. And then within it, I did some tributes to ex-kings and queens as well to kind of pay homage to...
Of the Carnaval.
To pay homage to people, music, other artists, and people I grew up listening to that maybe gave me the spirit to, I guess, be us and be who we are. So it was definitely a combination of a little bit of everything. So it was fun.
Yeah, no, that was great. Like, you know, and I think that's something that I also love about it is sometimes you look at a piece and you're kind of like, okay, saw it. I've gone back and looked at the photo that I took that day of the poster, and every time I look at it, I find something new.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
A lot of people have said that like my work's like a puzzle. Like you might see something one day, and then the next day you might see something else.
I'm glad you said that because I was about to mention that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, all these pieces that are in front of us right now, like as I'm talking to you, I'm like looking at them and I'm like, oh, look at that. Like, look at the happy face. Oh, look at the spoon. Oh, look at the heart. Like every time you look at it, you see something you didn't see before. So would you say that is your style?
I would say, yeah, that's definitely part of who I am, and that's kind of what I'm trying to portray with, I guess, with my art. I want you to look at them and, yes, get a sense of happiness, joy, read these inspirational quotes, different of my characters, start recognizing my friends, and then, and every creation is different, and they just come about. Some have my characters, and then some faces just appear. Mm-hmm. And I've had people look at paintings and be like, oh, that's how I feel on a Monday. That's how I feel on a Wednesday. So it's nice to bring happiness and joy to others within it as well.
How would you say that, you know, growing up in Miami and being from Miami has inspired or affected your work?
I think Miami has definitely inspired who I am and my character and my drive, and my parents at the end coming here with nothing and being able to grow up and create this life of their own, and has given me the opportunity to at the end explore this art thing. And it's definitely within my blood and my root and my passion. And I think Miami, we're very passionate, and that's the type of people we are.
You think it's kind of to touch on what you're saying, you know, because so many of us here either come from other countries or parents, you know, for, like yourself, we're first generation.
Of course.
You know, they respect the hustle. Like they get it. Like you just gotta keep going, and you can't sit back and just be like womp womp. You know.
Definitely. There's, just like you guys probably see it too. There's definitely days that aren't gonna be. Life's a roller coaster, and it's not gonna be a high point every day. And some days I kind of try not to get stuck in bad moments, or like. I'm riding a ride, and my life's a long journey, and I've been, so far so good, and my support has been real, and to see people fall in love and with these paintings and these characters, like even you guys are here talking about Flower Nose, like I couldn't tell you 2 years ago that we would be sitting here talking about a character that I've created. It's magical at the end, yeah.
How did he come up? How did you like? What's the origin story
Yes.
of
So
Flower Nose?
all Flower Nose and some of my other characters have all evolved.
There's Teddy Boy.
Yeah, we
and
got Teddy
Girl.
Boy. Now we got Teddy Girl. We got Panda Man 2020. They all have a message.
I
And
love that he's Panda Man 2020.
yeah.
Not to be confused with Panda Man from other years.
No,
right?
no.
Right.
He came about in 2020, and he actually has 2020 vision. So
Oh, well, then he's got one up on me.
yeah, he's and on me as well for sure.
As we're
yeah.
sitting here with glasses on.
So actually, yeah. So they all have their messaging, and they've all evolved from some of my earlier work, and then some of them, I say I need to create a certain character that I want to add to the family, and I just create them, and they come about, and then I get them on computer form, clean them up a little, dress them up, add whatever I need to add to them, and then the story comes about. So yeah.
So
they
they-
each have their story and their personality.
They come to you like fully formed almost.
Yeah, they just come about.
That's I love hearing that when I
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to creative people, and it's just like, how did you come up with blah? And they're like, well, one day they just showed up.
No,
you know,
no,
and
yeah, he evolved.
I mean, essentially, you start with that idea, but they tell
Yeah.
you where they want to go.
No, yeah, they definitely have had their life, and I definitely dream to see all of them one day, hopefully on an animation, or just like I have the Flower Nose character, he really came to our life now, because they live in their own world, but I would like to see my other friends as well.
So like again, these pieces that are hanging here,
Yeah.
I keep looking at them. Like over there in that one, the black and yellow one,
Yeah.
I see like a robot like kind of in there.
Yeah, no, there's definitely
And so
there's
like,
definitely robots.
are you coming up with that as you are
Yeah.
making the piece? Are you coming up with these characters as you go along?
So yeah, no, that robot that you're looking at is RoboBoy. He's got a futuristic mind. So yeah, I try to add him to different pieces. You'll start seeing him, and he's actually one of the characters that lives within the world I've created. But then you'll see other faces, and like for example, now when there's a plane and a sunflower, like I might just do it on that one. Just the motion of the marker just comes about, and
So like,
that might not be a character, but maybe one day we might have a sunflower.
right. So
Yeah.
as you're creating these
Yeah.
as you go along, I guess where I'm trying to get is that could spin off into something else.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
You
So
just
yeah,
kinda
no,
go
it
where
was it was definitely all a spin-off of something in the beginning, and then it just became something, and then Flower Nose, I saw something within him, and he became what he is today, and
Like the piece you showed us
Yeah.
just now before we started
Yeah.
recording. So that was one of the first, like, I guess, interpretations of Flower Boy.
yeah, I would say yeah, and then he's evolved into different things, yeah.
To the Cubanazo we see before us today,
Yeah.
because Homeboy's got guayaberas left
Oh
and
yeah,
right.
and he's got a gold chain with a cross around the.
as any good Cuban from Miami
Yeah,
would.
of
So
course.
something I'm always curious about artists.
But
When-
he might visit maybe one day that my world takes me to China, and you might see him.
Flower Boy in China.
Flower Nose in China.
Flower Nose
Flower
in China.
Nose.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So yeah, something that I'm always curious when artists are working on a piece, especially like your pieces that are so complex. When do you know it's done?
That's a great question. I don't think it's ever done, to be honest, until I decide to hopefully hang it in someone's home and walk out the door. I still don't think it's done. I've gone back to people's houses, and I'll be hanging out there, and I'll have a marker in my pocket and add something to the piece, because I don't think they're ever done, and I think at some point, yes, I got to turn the page on one canvas, but just don't let me be next to it with a marker.
That's
Hanging out, yeah.
That's always that concept has always fascinated me.
Yeah.
Of when a painting, when is it done? Because it can be done in so many different periods.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And from the aspect of the person watching it, seeing it, I don't know what's in the artist's mind.
Also for art of this type, where it's not like he's painting, un florero. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, he painted the florero and it's done. Like, there's nothing. No, it's you have so many layers, like you said, and honestly, you could probably spend 3 years on it. And
Oh
never
yeah, there's
feel,
definitely been pieces that I've started months ago, and I might have a show now that I might bring out the piece, and even like this piece to my right, like it had all those dots. I hung it at my Art Basel show, and then I decided to add little faces to the dots, and it became
like that one
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
That one.
The
With-
green one?
without
I would
the
say
face.
that I would say that one's done. Yeah.
Yeah, without the face,
Yeah.
like the two, what seems to be the face.
Yeah.
You can make an argument that it was done, but
without the face, 100%.
right.
Yeah.
But then somehow you, as the artist,
I added the face.
you
yeah.
felt that it wasn't done.
Yeah, yeah.
So actually, you mentioned Art Basel.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about Art Basel and its importance and significance, because I feel that Art Basel just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So as an artist, what it's significant.
I think, Art Basel, what Art Basel's brought to Miami and the city, I think it's constantly growing. I think it's becoming bigger and bigger every year. I've only really participated in it I would say this is probably year 4 of my Art Basel. And every year I've been growing with Art Basel. It's given me, it's the platform for an artist being in Miami to be able to expose yourself in Art Basel, where people from all over the world are coming. It's a good time for the city, and I appreciate meeting all the people that come at that time.
It's funny because
It's like the Super Bowl of art for here in Miami.
Because this year, when the whole thing with the banana happened,
Yeah.
the people were like, "This is ridiculous," that's not art and all that. And I was thinking, like, whether you think the whole banana thing is art or not, that's one conversation. Right. But this is something that people now all over the world are talking about. So from a PR perspective, it was ingenious.
Success.
It was definitely genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also learned that you might not like the banana, but someone else might see something special within that banana and tape. And so I think beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and what you like might not be what the other person likes, I guess. So that's the beauty of art.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So bringing it back a little more current, shall we say? So I know that you're going to be at Carnaval on the Mile.
Correct, yes.
You're going to be there both days, the 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
And so, what is it?
Miracle Mile
Miracle Mile and Coral Gables. Yeah, we're going to be there too. We're going to have a booth.
Cool.
So,
I'm gonna have
you
a
gotta
booth.
you gotta swing by.
Of course, 100%.
Say hi.
I would love to.
What is it that you'll be doing there? Because I know you mentioned you're going to be you're thinking of doing something with like
All right, so
with kids.
I'm gonna have a booth within it, next to the Kiwanis of Little Havana Foundation booth. So we'll be neighbors, and then we will hopefully, if we print it in time, we'll be releasing a official Carnival Miami T-shirt with pieces of my canvas, and then I also wanted to get involved and do other things. So they have a kids nook, and one of my messages is to inspire the youth. So I'm gonna bring the painting, the Carnival Miami painting, and I actually made a coloring page of the canvas, not colored in. So I'm gonna do a little thing with the kids, and I'll probably have Flower Nose visiting as well.
Wait, you got a lot of color in your piece. I hope you're taking one of those big Crayola, 120 packs, because you got a lot of color in there, son.
For sure, yeah. No, and then the kids will interpret it all differently, and some might only add 3 colors. One might add a line. That's the beauty of what they're doing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The kids are gonna love.
Oh, they're gonna love
It's
Flower
exciting,
Nose and the color. I mean, I think again it speaks to, there's and I've said this a couple times, so I must sound like un disco rayado, but
No,
there's a purity to your work, and it comes through, and it also comes through in your personality. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
At the end, the art.
I don't get any pretense from you.
No.
And that's, I mean, for an artist, that's refreshing.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I mean, it's refreshing.
Yeah, no. At the end, this is what I'm trying to express, and my art's giving me a platform to speak. So I kind of gotta be. No, I'm that person. I've always been that person, and a guy just texted me when I dropped off a few paintings at a show there that thank you for just brightening my day and bringing joy and happiness to my day. So that's definitely what I'm trying to portray. So
I love it. I think it's very unique. Again, I can't stress it enough. It's like your pieces look like one thing, and then when you start looking at them, it's completely different. And not all art does that.
Thank you.
Not all art does that, because again, so you look at just the face and it seems more not darker, but like not lively. But then when you start looking at the stuff inside, it's like, oh, happy faces.
Yeah, at first glance, it doesn't give a happy quote unquote vibe, right? But it is.
Then it's the context that you look at it, and then it completely changes.
You know, we're very big on context on this podcast.
Yes. So what? As an artist, this is something, again, I'm always curious in terms of artists. When you get commissioned, do clients tell you kind of what they want, or do they tell you do whatever you want?
I think every opportunity is differently. Some people definitely try to stir me in a certain way, but I think they already know what they're looking at, so most of the times they'll just pick with what I have within my studio at the time, and then we'll take it from there. Or I just did a piece for a New Orleans basketball player, and I try not to do other people's characters, but for this certain instant, we did the outline of Franklin, which is a character in Snoopy.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it was so the character had all my characters within it, which came out.
Oh, that's cool.
He was very happy to see it, and it was I was able to take it to New Orleans to deliver it, and it couldn't be more perfect for this guy. Franklin is his name, but it was just the character was him. It was like his friends were freaking out that like even his walk was like the way they were in love with it. So I did that one, and then I did another one for another basketball player, and it was another character from The Simpsons it was just him. So I don't know if I could do another character for someone that's not my character, that doesn't kind of resemble the person. I think it was crazy how much it reminded me of them.
Because that was kind of a question. Yeah. It's a hippy dippy kind of question, but do you ever get somebody show up to be like, I want you to do a piece for me, and you kind of just go off of the vibe you're feeling off of them? Where like if somebody comes up and is just like, you know what, I just want one of your pieces, but I want something new. Do you kind of just sit with the person for a minute and kind of go, you know what, this person is all blues and pinks and
there's definitely been colors. There's definitely been colors that they maybe match within their house, but I feel like as of now, every person that's walked in here has kind of walked in already like knowing the vibe that they're walking into and what they might like, and then the paintings just somehow matches them in a magical way. Like I had a painting a couple years ago that had a lot of blues and silvers and blacks, and there was other paintings more colorful that stood out within my Art Basel show, but they wanted that painting. They're like, I know where this painting goes. Like, this is the painting. Wow. And like after Basel, I went to like hang it up, and I was like, it gave me chills because I'm like, wow, it's almost like I made this painting for you guys. Like
knowing where it would go.
Yeah, it was meant to be here. So that's the magic, and a lot more of those situations than I would say, draw me this guy with this and that and that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, what's next for you? What are some of some big plans or some big projects you have coming up?
Yeah, so we definitely have the Carnaval Miami events coming up, which I'm excited for, and then for people who get to see who weren't at the press conference to be able to see it up close and personal. We could dig deeper within the painting, and we get to explore it a little more, and then. What else do we got? I got some murals I got to finish, some new murals, dropping some new clothes.
That's right, because you also have...
I also do the clothes.
VGA
merch.
You have merch, right? VGAstudios.com.
Yeah, so it's one big family, so the person who might not be able to get the painting might be able to get the limited shirt, and they could rock with us. Cool. So, no, I'm constantly doing something, and...
We'll put the link on our page so people can go out and take a look at it for the merch.
So, I'm constantly doing something, and I try to stay busy.
The murals are here local in Miami?
Yeah, I got to finish one actually at a school that I grew up going to in Key Biscayne Community School. Mm-hmm. So, I got to finish that mural, which is a pretty big mural, and to be able to go back to the school. I was once, not long ago, one of those kids in the uniform, so it was definitely a great feeling. Actually, and then in a week, this is definitely a first. Someone reached out to me for career day.
Oh,
So now
That's cool.
yeah. So they said that the kids would versus just like a lawyer or a normal person.
yeah, lawyers suck.
No, I'm not saying lawyers suck, but like
He's a lawyer.
yeah.
We do.
Oh yeah. No, but just to like, it was definitely. It was.
But that's awesome that they're
It
expanding.
moved me, yeah.
They're
To
expanding
be able
what it
to
is,
go
yeah.
there, and I'll probably bring Flower Nose with me, and the kids are gonna definitely
No,
get
but that's
to
cool
enjoy
because
it. Yeah.
an artist, I think from the mind of a child, and when they think of an artist, they probably think of somebody with like a beret and the palette. You know,
Bob Ross at
you know,
best.
Bob Ross.
Yeah.
You know, they don't think of like a young cool guy like you creating this type of stuff.
No,
from
yeah.
a kid's perspective,
No,
obviously.
it's honestly, it's amazing to these kids, just all these kids, they just move me, and it's really one of my messages, and it's, kids are magical at the end, and they'll tell you as it is, like, they're not holding back anything, and at the end, I just want to show these kids that it could be them, and if you have a passion and a love for something and a dream, you could do something with it, and it could become something. And maybe one day you'll be painting the Carnival Miami poster
Yeah.
or talking at Career Day.
Yeah.
Because at the end, I'm still a kid, and I still got a long journey, and I still got a lot of learning to do. And
I love your story. I really do.
Thank you.
Because the fact that, again, like, I'm looking at all this art and I cannot believe that you discovered this talent in your 20s. Like, I just can't believe it, And again, not to say that you're by no means old, but that goes to show that when you were meant to do something, sooner or later, it's going to happen. Because, I mean, can you imagine if this would have stayed inside of you, like...
no,
I think he would have exploded.
Yeah.
no,
I mean, damn.
I might not be here right now.
Like explosion
No,
of,
no,
like,
it's
color.
definitely
Colors like confetti. It'd be great.
I definitely was able to discover this, and it's been a way to express myself, and I'm doing what I love, and it's a beautiful thing to bring happiness and joy to others, and
Yeah, well, I have to
this
say,
is just the start of hopefully a very long, fun journey.
again, I definitely have to say, I think you are definitely bringing joy and happiness to others.
Thank you.
Your pieces, again, I'd be lying if I said, Carnaval poster was not the first time I actually saw it, and from that moment, I've just had a love for your pieces.
Yeah.
So, on behalf of people who enjoy joy and happiness, thank you.
Yeah. What do they say
thank
about
you.
art? That artists like love at first sight. Like the moment you see
You either love it or
you
hate it,
or you don't get it. Or
It either calls to you or
you'll
it
never
doesn't.
get it.
Yeah.
And your art is like, again, it's very, it's multi-dimensional, which that's what I love. So anyway, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you guys for having me, and to be continued, and I appreciate you guys, and you guys, we're all artists in our own way, so we're here to express ourselves and bring smiles to everybody in the world.
That's a good point to leave it off in. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on, Pero let me tell you.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
And we're back, listeners. And as we said, we've got with us today one of the performers at Carnaval on the Mile, Tim Sharon. Thank you for joining us here. And Pero let me tell you, Tim.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be on.
Well, we're excited to have you. I mean, I have to say, you are our first country music artist ever on the show. So congrats on being the first.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. And so, like I mentioned, you're actually going to be performing at Carnaval on the Mile on the public stage. They're going to have a whole country thing going, and we're actually going to be there as well. We're going to have a little booth there. So hope to run into you there. But I kind of wanted to use that as our initial pivot because, most people would think to themselves, country music artist, he's at Carnaval on the Mile in Miami, which is predominantly Hispanic. Do Latinos listen to country music?
It's interesting because I'm really not sure how I got to be doing the new country stage on Carnaval. It was a very nice process, though. We play a lot of concerts, and we've opened for a lot of national acts in the past few years, like Willie Nelson and Charlie Daniels and Bret Michaels and
Yeah,
Clint Black and Randy Travis and
it's
35.
a tiny list
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Up and comers you may have heard of, right?
Yes, exactly. So it was really cool because the people in the Kiwanis group and that run Carnival, they reached out to me. I think it was via Instagram, and they said they were interested in talking to me about coming down and doing the very first country stage.
Yes.
In Carnival's history, the 24 years of Carnival's history. So I said, why don't you guys come to a show if you can? So they came up to a concert. A bunch of the people from the Kiwanis Club came to a concert that we had in Hollywood Beach on the beach stage there. And they had a great time, and we had a great time with them. And from there, they were like, we've got to get you to play this new country stage. So, and that's how it came to be. I used to live in Miami Beach for years, and then I moved to Nashville for about 8 years, and I recently moved back to Miami Beach.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you. So to try to answer your question, I've always believed that country music has so many similarities to Latin music.
Really?
Yeah, I've always thought that since I moved to Miami and I got, just immersed in Latin music, and I love Latin music. Half of my iPod is all in Spanish. So for me personally, it's like a perfect magical fit because I've always said, the last place that country music has really taken a hold of, because I've been touring all of the country,
right?
Is Miami. So I'm glad it's finally starting to really pop here.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense that we would use a Miami resident like yourself as like that entryway, right? Like it helps it.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a really nice transition to kick it off because, like I said, we're actually we're putting a few surprises into the set list because I write and sing a little bit in Spanish. I have
read my friggin' mind. I was gonna ask you about it. I've been listening to your music, and I can't remember the name right now. La Luna?
Mi Cielo Azul.
Mi Cielo Azul. There we go. And
Sí.
I gotta tell you, for somebody who's not Hispanic, your pronunciation, sir, is it's on point. Okay, so
thank you.
Yeah, as a native speaker, I gotta tell you, like you don't sound like somebody who's learning it, quote unquote.
Thank you. I take great pride in that because I have so many friends, Latino friends. When I moved to Miami, I didn't know any Spanish, and I really just tried to absorb it. And of course, being a singer, I really wanted to, I would go over phonetically, sound by sound when I was working on learning songs. Like my friends, wrote a lot and produced Christian Castro, and I would go in and I would, for weeks, I would break down the syllables and the sounds, and I would write out the songs phonetically so that I could learn them and not sound like a complete gringo.
Well, mission accomplished, I gotta say. But so I have a question in terms of when you're writing it. Do you kind of write it in English and then translate? Do you say to yourself, I'm just gonna approach this from the angle of I know what I want to say and I'll try to feel my way through? Or
yeah, it was definitely a different process for the song in Spanish, and it's a really cool story because I'm a songwriting geek and I just love everything about songwriting. So I was living in Key West, and a lot of my ideas and songs come from when I'm half asleep. And
you're not the first musician we've had on that has told us this, by the way.
Yeah, no,
you're not the first.
It's a thing, man. It's a thing. When you're writing when I'm writing songs, the thing that I try to do, and it's a very tricky thing to do, but you want to turn off your inner editor. So you just want to let things come out, and especially lyrics, you want them to just come out in a free flow,
right,
without stopping to think oh, is this silly or is this not good enough. So it happens a lot because when you're in that like napping state or waking up or just going to sleep, you're not consciously thinking about what you're thinking about, so to speak. Ideas pop out,
Right.
and it's your duty to catch them.
That's a great way of putting it. It's like, when you're in, because you're cognizant, but you're not like stopping yourself, right? So
Yes, great word.
Yeah, it makes total sense when you.
Right. So I was just waking up and I just got the idea, Mi cielo azul, and the beginning of that chorus, I just heard it in my mind while I was waking up. So I just kind of popped up, went downstairs, and just started to record just the Mi cielo azul. Started to come up with more melodies with no words.
Oh, okay.
And then I knew what the song was going to be called. I knew what the song was going to be about, pretty much from the title. Okay. So I work around the title. And in this case, I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible because literally I wrote all the lyrics and the melody all at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And then I went back and went over the lyrics because my Spanish is not great at all. And I just tried to keep it as simple as possible to get the idea of what I wanted to say. I just wanted to get down to very simple basics in my broken Spanglish or Spanish. The great thing is, so I wrote the whole thing and I did a quick, just guitar and vocal demo. Right. And I have some friends that are very, very good songwriters. So I called around to a couple of them and I said, look, I have this song. It's completely written as far as the music and the melody, but the lyrics are not going to be, they're going to be like the lyrics of a 5-year-old because my Spanish is so bad.
It needed some fine tuning, some tweaking.
Exactly.
Right.
So I have this dear friend of mine. His name is Like Santander.
Oh,
and
yeah. I mean, legendary producer. Yeah.
I was just blessed and fortunate to have somebody that I could call and say, hey, will you help me with this? It was so cool because he was like, yeah, let me work on it. And a week or two later, he sends me back the lyric sheet and he sends me back a demo that he sang, him and piano. I literally have that demo on my iPod.
Oh, wow. I would too. Shit.
So to have someone who is, obviously he has so many #1 hits that he's written and Grammys and all that fun stuff, to have him make my my attempt in Spanish be as good as I could get it. It was.
I gotta say, I know you're giving credit where credit is due for the help and all that, but I gotta say, unless you had come up with the initial germ and the melodies and all that, there'd be nothing there for him to or anybody to work with. So and again, like I said, your interpretation did not sound like somebody who just learned Spanish for the sake of doing the song.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely like a labor of love, and it was something that I really wanted to do. So I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. So I'm really proud of it. So thank you. I appreciate that.
No. So now, talking about your music overall, what I love is that you call your music country music with a twist of lime. Did I get that right?
Very close. Very
close.
All
right. Damn it, I almost had it. Well, how is it exactly that you phrase it?
It's country rock with a twist of lime.
There we go. And
yes.
I think anybody who's listened to your songs like feels that, and that's why your Miami influence comes across. And obviously you were out in Nashville, but you're from Rhode Island, right? Like how does a Rhode Island boy say to himself, this is the genre I wanna go down, but I'm gonna take these two seemingly disparate things and I'm gonna put them together, and damn it, it's gonna work.
I grew up, I moved a lot. So I grew up first in the city. Mm-hmm. And then during the summers, we would go down my grandmother and then my mom both had little beach cottages. Every summer we would go down there and I just fell in love with the beach. So then in high school, I moved out to the woods, to the sticks. So, I got a good cross section of that stuff. And then as soon as I was old enough, I moved out of Rhode Island because I wanted to, I wanted to be a beach bum, basically.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And I ended up I ended up here in Miami Beach. Of course, first I fell in love with the beach, but then I fell in love with the culture and being, it was a total culture shock in the best possible way for me. It was an amazing, life-changing thing to move to Miami Beach and to experience all these different cultures and all these different amazing people. And then I was introduced to country music when I was in Miami.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen? I want to know what neighborhood you were in that you were introduced to country music.
So I had a girlfriend that lived in Davie.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Yep.
All right.
And
you had to cross the county line. All right.
And the funny thing is, she is Colombian.
What?
Yeah, she's Colombian, but she lives in Davie. She would make me all these. I was like, I don't like country, So she would make me all these CDs, like these mixtape CDs.
Oh yes, I remember
and
mixed
she's
CDs.
like, yeah, she's like, well, just throw this in your, in your CD player when you're
Right.
driving. I would play the first song and be like, oh, Big and Rich, like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, or Kenny Chesney, and it'd be like, oh man, this song is really cool. But I don't like country. And then I listen to the second song. I listen over and over. But
I just like
country.
the one song. I just like the song.
Yeah.
I don't like the genre.
I just like these 4 songs. All right, I just like these 17 songs. So eventually I was like, damn it, I like country.
Oh, that's awesome.
The more I got into country, the more the fans got into me, so to speak. And it just built from that. And I started opening for Charlie Daniels and Willie Nelson and all these great, icons.
Yeah, these are
country music.
icons is the perfect word for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's been a twisted road, but I'm really happy with the way things are turning out because now I write and do songs about, I do everything that's just from my life. It's all organic. It all stems from, it's all authentic. It all comes from me. Like, I'm a beach freak. I just love everything about the tropics, the islands. So I do a lot of songs about the tropics, the islands.
And people get that. Specifically singer-songwriters like yourself, what people connect to is the lyrics. And if you're the songwriter, people can tell if you're being authentic. People, you can't fake that. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, how great of a singer you are. You can't fake it.
Definitely. Yeah. I get songs pitched to me, and I've gotten some really great songs that were pitched to me that were maybe like about being a farm guy or a hit guy. You know what I mean?
Not really what you've experienced, is it? So how are you gonna, how are you gonna sell it?
And I just won't do it if it doesn't ring true to me. Then I won't do it. So I love performing, and I love doing the fun party songs so everybody can just come to our shows and let loose and forget their worries for a few hours and just have a blast,
Absolutely, and I know that's what you're going to be bringing to, I think it's the Publix stage at Carnaval on the Mile. Are you performing on the 7th or the 8th?
We are performing on the 7th.
On the 7th. All right, cool.
Yes,
cool.
which is this Saturday, and we are 7 o'clock.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in person because I've been listening to your music now on Spotify. So what I'm trying to say is you better bring it, if only because I will probably be there in the crowd, and so I want to, I want to feel it live.
You're gonna feel it.
But I also wanted to take a moment, to just kind of talk to you about something that I know you're involved with, which is actually something that myself and my co-host DJ, feel very strongly about, which is anti-bullying. It's a cause that's very near and dear to both of our hearts, and I know that you do work with anti-bullying initiatives. I wonder if you could just kind of give us a little bit about that. I don't want to bring the mood down, but I think when somebody is putting forth effort to doing something so worthy, I'm sure as hell going to bring attention to it as well.
I love to talk about it because it's so important. So many people, and it's so important to me, and it's a big part of my life. So I started the Anti-Bully Tour. If anybody wants to check it out, it's antibullytour.com. And basically, I go
all
to...
one word? No hyphen, right? It's just anti-bully.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, antibullytour.com, nothing in between.
Perfect.
So I go to schools from kindergarten to universities,
Oh wow.
and I perform. Sometimes it's me solo acoustic, sometimes it's the whole band, and I get the students, singing along and yelling and screaming and having a great time. And then right in the middle of the performance, I stop and I give a talk. I tell them of my experiences being bullied
Right.
in middle school, which
That's the worst age for that,
oh,
I think. I mean,
yeah.
I think everybody would universally agree. Middle school age is the worst. Everybody's just a bundle of hormones and everything else, and we take it out on each other. It's the worst.
Yeah, and a bundle of insecurity
Yeah.
and questioning yourself. So when I went into 7th grade as an honor student, and I was bullied mercilessly by one person for about 2.5 years.
Jeez.
And it was to the point where I was, all the things, like depression, thoughts of harming myself, thoughts of definitely of harming the other person, violence, lashing out at, the people that were trying to help me, like my family, my mom. My mom was trying to help me so much. And I kind of took it out on those around me because I was literally petrified for 2.5 years. If I was in school, I was petrified. If I was out of school, I was petrified that the next morning was going to come and I had to go back to school and be petrified again for the whole school day. And then summer vacation, Christmas holidays and stuff. I was just counting the days until I had to go back to school.
That's a horrible way to live. I mean, it's
awful.
That's a level of anxiety that I can't even begin to imagine. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was unbelievably horrible. And actually, to really get into it, it was so bad that I was, like I said, I was acting out, with my family that, I was just being my grades for the rest of my schooling until I went to junior college and then went to college. I never passed a year. I went to summer school every single year after I started getting bullied until I got to my senior year, and I didn't even graduate because my grades were, I wasn't doing any work, and I just went off on this tangent, and then I didn't even graduate with my class, and they said you can go to junior college and make up the credits, and thank God they did that, because then I went to junior college, got my degree, and then I came to the University of Miami. But
okay. Oh, so you're a fellow Hurricane.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I graduated from there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it was really incredibly difficult. I ended up getting, which is kind of, in hindsight, fortuitous. I got kicked out of my mom's house.
Oh wow.
Because I was being so bad, in 9th grade,
total snowball effect.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I had to move in with my dad. Thankfully, at my dad's, my stepbrother and I started a little band in the basement in high school, and that's how I started in music. So, I do the schools and everything to just hopefully to bring the message out that you can go through these things that are so difficult and sometimes horrifying to deal with, and you can get through them, and you can turn not only negative things into, to get through them, but you can turn negative things into really positive things. And that's what I feel like I'm doing, because back when I was being bullied, there was no anti-bully campaigns. There was no, there was no protocol. There was no, literally, we would tell the school, my mom sent me to counseling, like a psychotherapist. We went to the school over and over and over, and they were just like,
boys will be boys type of thing. Yeah, it's
exactly.
I mean, I'm assuming you and I are probably about the same age, only because of your mix CD reference. So, so yeah. I mean, but I think back then, I mean, there's always been bullies, right? And bullying is nothing new, but I think there was less awareness of it, and I think that kids nowadays also, I know you mentioned the anxiety and just the dread of the next day, and the end of the vacation, but nowadays kids don't even get that type of a break from the bullying because of
it follows them everywhere.
Yeah, social media, and so as bad as it was for yourself and others during when we were coming up, back in the 1800s, right? But,
right. Horse and buggy.
Exactly, but it's even worse now. So I definitely think it's actually just something beautiful that you're doing, to take your experience and to go out there and tell people, look, I'm not just talking about it. I know what I'm saying. I lived it. This was my reality. This, I understand, is your reality. Obviously, it's a little different now, but you can get through it, and providing them with that awareness is the first step.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's incredible going to the schools. So many of the faculty, the teachers, the principals will come up to me and tell me their stories of being bullied years ago.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then, I'm not brave to do this now. I went through it,
right.
And now it's, I see these kids. It's incredible how brave some of these kids can be, because I've had a few instances where in the middle of me speaking, because a lot of times I'll do like a Q&A,
right,
either in the middle or at the end, and I've had kids like 11 years old stand up in the middle of like 500 kids and say, yeah, this is what I'm going through.
Wow.
I was never brave enough to do that.
Hell no, I'm not brave enough at 40 to do that.
Right. So it's really amazing, and it's just a win-win situation.
No, absolutely.
To go and do this stuff. So
absolutely, and I thank you for doing it. It's just something that I think the more people are aware of it and bringing that level of attention and just letting others know that, hey, you're not alone, goes so damn far.
Absolutely, because I mean, depending on what you went through, I'm sure you can relate. When you're going through these things, number one, I thought, anyway, I'll just speak for myself. I thought, like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why is this person tormenting me?
It's got to be me.
And yeah, I thought it was me. And I really thought I was completely alone because, nobody talked about it, and then it wasn't a thing.
No.
So
at all.
Yeah, just knowing that you're you have people all around you that can empathize and sympathize with you is half the battle.
Yeah. Well, I want to change topics really quick before we wrap up here. So obviously, we're gonna see you in a couple of weeks here on in lovely downtown Coral Gables, as I like to say.
Yes.
On the public stage on March 7th at 7 p.m. Again, I really do hope that you have an opportunity to swing by our booth beforehand, so we can just sit down and maybe just grab some pictures and get a little sneak peek. But other than that, what else have you got coming forth? Is there any tours coming up after this date, or
I tour every summer?
Oh, nice.
And
too many tourists in Miami, so you got to leave. Is that what it is?
It's just nice to get around the country during the summer.
Okay.
When I can go up and it's nice and summery.
It's not as humid and muggy in other parts of the country in middle of July. I hear you.
Exactly. So, like the tours every summer keep getting bigger and bigger. This past summer, we played for probably 40,000 people. We opened for Charlie Daniels again. We opened for the Whalers, Bob Marley's Whalers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. We opened for some big country acts, Maddie and Tay, Randy Houser, Parmalee. So that's what we're going to be doing this summer. We have a residency at the once a month, the third Wednesday of each month at Hollywood Beach, the beach stage there at Margaritaville.
Yeah, that's really nice. I actually really like the Hollywood Beach area because I got that little boardwalk type situation there. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And this time of year, there'll be like 1,000 people out there when we're playing, and it's a big old rock and country concert.
As it should be.
So, yeah, people, and I'll let everybody know what to expect when they come to our show. Like I said before, we play country rock with a twist of lime, and for the live shows, I really love to concentrate on getting everybody to have as much fun as possible. To just sing along, scream along, dance, stomp, anything and everything you want to do so that you can just forget your worries for an hour or two. You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about politics. You don't have to worry about work. Nothing. Just come and have a blast with us, the Tim Sharon Band.
That is awesome, man. So again, I just want to say thank you, for taking the time to chat on our show. Cannot wait to see you. I know we met at the press conference for the kickoff for Carnaval Miami with the Kiwani Sat Ball and Chain, and you and I were both enjoying the caffeinated goodness that is the coladas and the cortaditos and the pastelitos and all that. But I cannot wait to see you again and just say hi and chill out with you a little bit more and then watch you do your thing on stage.
I cannot wait to do just that myself. It's going to be a blast.
And we're back. Bueno, this was a bonus episode.
Yes.
So we're not going to give no last cokes.
No, there's no last sodas.
No.
No.
So, again, everybody, we are going to be at Carnival on the Mile, March 7th and 8th. Yep. We are going to be somewhere in the middle.
Look, you'll find us.
Yes, we're going to have a very bright banner.
Yes.
And our logo. So please, just go out to Carnival on the Mile if you're in the Miami area.
Yeah, and it's a family event. Like there's literally something for everybody. Like last year we all went. We took some, it's a group of friends with the kids. The kids got fingerprinted.
Yes. Yes. No, but that's important.
They got fingerprinted, but they also had, just free things.
They had
our friend Daisy collected more tote bags than I think exist.
No, they had a lot of areas for kids, and there's a ton of food. There's entertainment. It's really, really a nice area. The weather's nice out now.
The weather is very nice.
So
and free.
It's a great time, and we're gonna be there.
What more do you want?
So please stop by, say hello. Grab a t-shirt.
Yeah, well, pay for it. Don't just grab it. Don't just grab it.
That's not grab and go.
That's shoplifting. This is not supermarket sweep.
But please come out, say hello. We'd love to say hi to people and meet people, and it's a great time. Yeah. We've been going to Carnival on the Mile for a few years now.
As you heard, we definitely have some great memories of Carnaval Miami, and it's an honor for us that they have included us in their celebration this year. And we can't say thank you enough to them for having us be part of a Miami, institution.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and we're very
flattered that we were
So everybody have a happy Tuesday and happy rest of the week, and tune in for episode 100
this Friday.
And as we said, our 100th episode celebration is not going to happen in our 100th episode, but it is going to happen.
It's coming. We promise. We promise.
So everybody have a great week, and thank you so much for listening.
Bye. Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lamleplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.